have no option because your life depends on the fight. But for us, the life of Nigerians depends on our fight. Revolution now.
Okay, first and foremost, Sowore has always done this, regardless of whosoever is involved. We just had a conversation with the former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Injustice, Abuja Malami, over there. You caught that on camera. And Sowore was clear that we're standing for you at this point, at this trial point, simply because you're facing what we all feel as injustice, oppression by the Nigerian state. But the same Malami was the one who arrested and prosecuted Sowore for 5 years, traceable felony, when we embarked on the revolution now. And he's the same person calling for a revolution as we speak, Abuja Malami. So now, it tells you the nature and character of Sowore. He fights for the Nigerian people, even without even knowing you, as long as your rights are violated and you are harassed. So it's coming to below, very dubious man, as I call him, VDM. Sowore have stood twice for him. One of the occasions, he ensured that he was released on an Easter Sunday. This is the character and person of Sowore. For very dubious man, that rat, to tell Sowore that he is a man that he wants. What? As in, that's a lack of sense. This is how rats behave. Someone who has stood for you, still standing, simply because it ensured that you do not weaponize the instrumentality of power by oppressing a fellow citizen, be Lord in this matter. You now insult him at will. And that's the point. Brings me back to the point of Deji Adeyanju. He's one of those individuals embodying this idiot. That's just it. How will a rat like very dubious man be insulting Sowore, someone who have stood for? It's clear. And I'll give you a very practical example. You saw what's happening with Shehu Kuti. Shehu Kuti is friends with very dubious man as Deji is to him. And they are all friends with Sowore. Do you get that? But he was clear that you cannot insult an elder statesman who had not stolen a dime from public office. He has never held one before. Whose source of income are credible, legit, who have stood for the Nigerian people even before very dubious man was born. Shehu was clear about that. But have you heard anywhere where did he said otherwise? The only thing he said that he wouldn't tolerate banters of Sowore and VDM on his wall. Has he called this guy openly and said, come on, this is an elder statesman, a respected leader of the oppressed. This is unacceptable, just the same way Shehu Kuti has. So how will you now tell me that there are no concrete evidence to justify the fact that this idiot is being emboldened by Deji Adeyanju? That's it. And given the case here today, he said simply because of Sowore, it is clear that Mr. Sowore has no personal vendetta with very dark man. In fact, he doesn't even know him to begin with. No close communication, no familiarity. But what brought Sowore to defending very dubious man was simply because he felt, or rather it was clear, that he was being intimidated, harassed, and illegally detained, weaponizing the instrumentality of law against his fundamental rights. And the same thing he has stood up against when VDM did the same to Billot. It's just clear. No animosity, just clear, conscience, and surgical judicial process. That is exactly what Sowore has always advocated for, and nothing more. Yeah. So this is a lawyer to